Hi, I'm Dr. Anders Eskel Carlson.
Hi, I'm Aaron Hartz.
We're the co-founders of Oregon Glaciers Institute, coming to you from beautiful and glaciated Mount Hood, Oregon. The retreat of glaciers is global warming's poster child. Yet the last time glaciers were counted here in Oregon was 70 years ago. This census of glaciers was only taken when the U.S. Geological Survey commissioned its series of topographic maps that were created by cartographers. A glacier census has only ever been conducted by experts, such as glacier scientists and alpinists, in the 1930s. Our goal is to conduct the first proper glacier census in Oregon in nearly 100 years. Our ecosystems and communities here in the Pacific Northwest rely on glaciers, particularly as a water resource in the summer. Yet the United States doesn't know how many glaciers currently exist in the high Cascades, or how many existed prior to the impacts of carbon emissions over the 20th century. We're coming to you today from the Oregon High Cascades to propose an intensive 10-week field campaign that will determine two things. One, the number of glaciers that currently exist in the Oregon High Cascades, and two, the number of glaciers that existed here over 100 years ago before humans started putting carbon into the atmosphere. OGI is a small two-person team made up of Aaron and myself. Since the late 1990s, I've been studying glaciers and climate change around the world. This work has led me to various remote locations, including Alaska, Arctic Canada, Greenland, and even the Svalbard Islands.
My background is in the earth and biological sciences, and for the past decade, I've worked as an alpine, rock, and ski mountaineering guide. I've guided and climbed throughout the Pacific Northwest, and I have an intimate knowledge of the Cascade Mountain Range. Together, our methodology is simple: a boots-on-the-ground approach. We will observe and map past and present glacial extents throughout Oregon's high Cascades. The rugged terrain of the Oregon mountains requires an in-the-field approach in conjunction with using satellite and aerial imagery. We will focus on three time periods: the 1850s, when human carbon emissions began to rise, the 1950s, when the last glacial census was taken, and today.
Our goal is simple: to reconstruct glacier change in the Oregon High Cascades since the late 1800s.
This time span is important because it encompasses the anthropogenic era, when humanity released large amounts of carbon into the atmosphere.
From this change, we can determine the glacier's responses to global warming and thus project their future viability. Thank you for taking the time to review our proposal. We believe this work to be dire for millions of Oregonians, as many glaciers have died off since the 1950s.
But equally as important, and as recently as last September, new glaciers have been discovered by us here at OGI. And while the future of Oregon's glaciers remains uncertain,
our goal with this grant is to use history to tell if or when they will disappear off our planet for good.